going on, and then maybe we'll end the show up with some resolutions. I don't like to make those too much, but maybe we can talk about those. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to introduce some new segments. Later in this show, we'll have Sabrina Fendrick from NORML Women's Alliance. She's going to talk a little bit about what's going on with her. And then we'll kind of catch up on Moms for Marijuana and what's going on with you as a local activist and what's happening in your world. Anything else that you ladies want to add to it?
Happy New Year. Am I being heard? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I'm definitely excited to start another year and see us actually accomplish something. I think that there's been so much energy building this last year that we're just all ready to charge forward and make stuff happen. I'm very excited.
I am too. I'm ready for...
That would be my
Shame on you, Jennifer.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm ready for the new year too. I 2011 was all about what we didn't get done and who was doing what and that sort of thing. And it's frustrating.
I'm trying, I swear.
We've obviously been gone for a while.
Welcome to a different view.
Ladies, has everyone turned the ringers off on their phones?
No. Don't call me.
Anyway,
I'll get that in a minute.
I'm really looking forward to 2012. We've had a lot of ups and downs in 2011 and some setbacks, but I think that they've kind of made us take a look at what our argument is going to be going forward.
And I think we've made some real progress.
I do too.
In 2011. I think there's been a lot of things that while we haven't won anything per se, we've definitely been moving the right way.
Right.
Lee's case with the concealed handgun
Oh,
licenses
yeah.
is another huge one. I mean, it's been winning this whole way, and if it goes to the Supreme Court, there's another win for us.
And I think the other thing I want to talk about is the election year.
Yes.
Election year. That means one of the things I want to highlight is anybody who is a supporter of cannabis that's running for any office, and I don't really care if you're running for dog walker. I really don't care because I think that the more of us that we get involved in our political system, the stronger we are. Not only that, but it changes the image and shifts the paradigm in our favor because then people can become more comfortable with who we are as everyday citizens. And I really want to talk to some of the local politicians, Jim Clark, Kaliko Castile. There's a few others.
There's a lot of them that we don't necessarily run in our community,
right.
but are definitely progressive candidates.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to get them involved and start, getting them on our side now. I think most of them are just by default. Jefferson Smith, I don't really know much about him, but he's running for mayor in Portland here.
I heard a little bit about him. I did see a little blurb. You have to, for me, we were talking about, Sarah and I were talking about being an activist before the break, and I don't put myself in that category. I certainly put you two in that category, but I don't put myself in that category.
I tried not to be in that category for a while.
But, I think there are people out there, that only vote if you're going to legalize marijuana. And I wish that was true for me too, but I'm not a single issue voter. So I'm not willing to give up everything for everybody else to make a foothold here, but I do think that it's an important issue that needs to be discussed. I'm tired of not being invited to the table to have an open discussion. That's going to be one of my goals this year.
I think we're going to have to spend one of our segments talking about politics because I've kind of decided that I think I am kind of a single issue voter at this point. I think that cannabis encompasses all of the other issues. I think that if we can change the way that we're addressing this question, that affects all of our politics. It's not just about getting high, like some people think, but the whole conversation that's involved there. So there's like a lot of people that I've thought about in the past that, I don't know if I'd vote for them, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think we need to.
It's absolutely in every topic. I mean, think about environment, if you think about fuel efficiency, if you think about reclaiming energy and reducing our carbon footprint, there's so much more to it. We'll be back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back talking a little bit more about what's new for the next year. You're listening to A Different View. Thank you for listening.
Chicago green, talking about red lemonades, a dirty room and a silver Coke spoon. Give me my release. Black Napoli, days in the hole. Where you going, boy? Here for 30 days. Newcastle Brown, I tell you it can sure smack you down. You take a greasy heart and a rolling dance floor. You know you just have found 30 days in the hole. 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 30 days in the hole.
Are you or is someone you know a marijuana smoker? Have you or is someone in your family been arrested for a marijuana violation? You need to know the truth about pot. NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, is the most comprehensive source of information regarding marijuana and its effects on health, as well as legal issues. NORML even offers a database of lawyers specializing in cannabis in your area. NORML, the nation's largest and most successful marijuana law reform organization, has spent decades gathering the knowledge and science on everything related to cannabis. NORML is the best resource to find out the truth about marijuana, connect with a lawyer in your area, or help find an end to prohibition. Information is available at NORML.org, that's NORML.org, or toll free at 888-67-NORML.
And welcome back to A Different View with Iva Cunningham, Jennifer Alexander, and I'm Sarah Frank. We're on the phone with Sabrina Fendrick from the NORML Women's Alliance. Sabrina, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. Thank you.
Hi, Sabrina. Hey, how was your holidays?
Excellent, excellent. I am still having a great time. I'm actually out on the West Coast right now.
Oh, nice.
That's what I was thinking. Where are you at again? Are you in California?
I am in California. I'm up in Humboldt County.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome to our part of the world.
So we're not keeping you up all night
So
this
I'm
time.
definitely having a very good vacation.
I bet. So, Sabrina, we're really glad that you've decided to come on the show. We had a really great interview with you on our last show, and it got us thinking about we wanted to do this show because we wanted to highlight some of the issues in the cannabis community from a women's perspective. We didn't want to ignore or make it, only a women's issue, but we wanted to have our spin on it, which I do think, from a female perspective, is a little bit unique. And you, can you tell us again what your title is with NORML?
Yeah, I'm the coordinator for the NORML Women's Alliance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and just give us a brief summary of what that is.
Of what that is. Well, it wears many hats. It basically focuses on two different parts of what we're trying to do, kind of external activism, and then also focusing on the inside, the inner workings of the movement, and trying to drive a stronger, more uniform fighter group among the inside, so that we can effectively change public opinion on the outside.
Okay.
So basically, we do a bunch of public education outreach projects where we try to bring more people in on Facebook and on different ads. And we also do internal organizing, such as the Sister to Sister program, and we have a community leaders where people can sign up and get involved and start organizing women in their local communities to give them kind of a feeling of empowerment to be able to go out into their world and start finding other like-minded women and moving things forward.
So, Sabrina, can you hear me okay?
Sounds like you're on your cell phone. Is that who we got you on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're having some sort of a connection difficulty. I'll get it back on when it's gone away.
Oh, okay.
I might be having some sound problems.
There you go.
Yeah,
Can you hear us okay now?
Oh, are you?
I'll tell you what, Sabrina, what we'll do is give the ladies here a chance to go into another segment that they had planned, and we'll call you back and see if we can get a better connection. So thanks, Sabrina. We'll be back with you after another segment.
Great. Sounds good. Well, I want to go over kind of 2011. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it kicked the snot out of me. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way. I mean, some people feel, we got set back with the last election cycle. There's a lot of regrouping, kind of trying to stitch up our wounds and where do we go from here and what's the next direction. And, and I think a lot of people are exhausted and we need to find our inspiration again, and we need to, but I think there's been some good.
I think there has been some good. I think we got attack after attack after attack,
Absolutely.
From the 2010 elections with the Prop 19 and then our dispensary measure and Arizona and
Prop
South
19.
Dakota. And then Arizona came through and won, but I think they're still trying to put it into...
A lot of arm wrestling going on, yeah.
Yeah. And so then as soon as we hit, 2011, it's just been like, there's been so many stories, and I mean, some of them may have started before 2011, but they've all been kind of coming... The IRS attacking the various dispensaries, the ATF saying that medical marijuana was not allowed to, if you use medical marijuana, or if they thought you might use medical marijuana, that you weren't allowed to have a gun legally. And we had the concealed handgun license cases here that have been going on. And it just seems like there's so much. The legislature here in Oregon was... a lot of attacks just day after day, and we all busted our butts, and then for them to sneak in the bill for raising the fees at the end.
A lot of I've seen a lot of what I call dirty politicking. And it's disappointing that these are the people that we've elected to office, but at the same time, we have elected them to office, and we can elect them out. I think we still have a lot of power. I think that, good comes through controversy because, we've sharpened our argument. We've sorry. I wasn't a mother, but did you see that? Sorry.
Like a whip.
Just like a mom.
Dog. Anyway, y'all know Roscoe.
Dog chasing cat.
Dog chasing cat, Roscoe. Anyway, but I think we've sharpened our argument. We've reformulated what's important to us, and I think through that controversy, we've also kind of decided that we're tired of the finger wagging and the pointing and the insults and. Some people do a better job of navigating the gray areas better than others. And I for one, just kind of like got sick and tired of it. I've just I had my personal meltdown. I'm sure everybody has at one point and said, that's it, I'm done.
The one thing that I've noticed this year that I'm kind of happy about, as much as the media tried to make us all sound like stupid stoners, just the whole movement at large, they brought so much attention to us that you've got people that don't use marijuana going, I'm sick of hearing about it. Why won't they just let you guys have your medicine? Like they're sick of hearing about it.
Right.
Whereas the media thinks that they're doing this great disservice to us by showing how horrible we all are. The reality is that people are looking at it and going, why are we wasting our time with this? Somebody down the street just got shot yesterday, and you guys are worried about whether or not they're medical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's been interesting to me, and talking to people so much this last year at how quick people are to say, I don't even smoke, but and they want to always qualify it.
Right.
But it's great because people are actually looking at this and going, we're wasting our time. We've got more important things to deal with.
And I think there's been this clear line of division between the medical and the personal users. Or legalizers. I don't care what kind of camp you want to label yourself under.
That's what you get.
Yes, real life happens around us. But there's been this division between people who are medicalizers and legalizers, and I don't, I don't care. I don't care why you use cannabis. I don't really care. I just care that you don't have to go to jail, that you're not going to worry about losing your children, that you're not going to lose your livelihood, your job, or it's not going to, I really don't care what your purpose is.
See, I think that's like kind of a false fight that we're dealing with.
I agree.
I think that people are concerned about tax, and I think people are concerned about being denied their rights. And I think that's really the two sides. And I don't think anybody wants to see anybody going to jail.
It's
and
like
prohibition.
You were saying, people are tired of hearing about it. And not only are people tired of hearing about it, but the more we talk about it, the more our children are going to look at it and go, what are you talking about? Wait, what's going on? What can't I do? Wait, I want to see what's going on. I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, I for one thing, I am just tired of defending myself. From now on, I want you to defend why it's illegal.
Yeah.
We've got Sabrina back on the line. Are you there, Sabrina? Can you hear us?
Hi, yes.
Sorry to keep you on hold there for a while. We wanted to make sure the connection was good. We've got time to take a break here, and then when we come back off break,
we'll just take a quick break. If you can hang with us for a minute, Sabrina.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. You're listening to A Different View. We'll be back right after this short break, and we'll be with Sabrina Fendrick from NORML Women's Alliance. Thanks.
Pass the marijuana any old kind of way. I like it when you roll it up real nice, but Lord, I hate the price. I like it in a boot up on about 2 feet long. Don't have to hit it twice and you still feel nice. Pass the marijuana. Pass the marijuana my way.
What makes something funny? How does humor impact health and psychological well-being? How can you incorporate humor into everyday life? A concise, reader-friendly introduction to an important but often underappreciated topic in modern psychology, Humor 101 explains the role of comedy, jokes, and wit in the sciences and discusses why they are so important to understand. Psychology professor Dr. Mitch Earlywine draws from his personal experiences in stand-up comedy to focus on how humor can regulate emotion, reduce anxiety, and diffuse tense situations, expose pretensions, build personal relationships, and much more. He irreverently debunks the pseudoscience on the topic of humor and leaves readers not only funnier, but better informed. It's part of the Psych 101 series from Springer Publishing, Humor 101, by Dr. Mitch Earlywine, Ph.D.
So, Sabrina, do we got you on a good line now?
Hi, yeah, sorry about that before.
Oh, no
it's
worries. It happens. So we've been talking briefly over the email, but we wanted to formally invite you as the director of the NORML Women's Alliance, or assistant director, did you say, to do a weekly show, a segment on our show, like a short, 5-minute, 8-minute segment where you guys can sort of address the NORML Women's Alliance and the issues going on, particularly with you being on the East Coast and us being on the West Coast. That's going to add some nice balance to our show. And we'd love to, help our audience find different ways to get involved and aware. So we wanted to talk to you today about, doing this and hopefully, as we're moving forward, be doing this on a weekly basis. Did you have any thoughts about that, on how this would be working for?
Well, I think that it's a really good idea. I'm definitely looking forward to doing this and getting some of the other women that have decided to get on board and start getting involved in speaking out publicly to come onto your show.
Good.
I think it's going to be really good to add a nice diverse range of individuals, and not just women, of course, like we were saying.
Exactly.
I think it'll probably be angled on a lot of issues that are important to women, but that doesn't mean that it's not important to a lot of other people and shouldn't be addressed either way.
Right.
So, I think that this is going to be a really good, New Year's project that will expand as we go through time. And hopefully Kendra will bring on a lot of the West Coast guests. Kendra Miller, who is our NORML Women's Alliance Vice Chair. And I'll work with a lot of the women on the East Coast, and we can kind of share thoughts and ideas and experiences and work towards a better future.
Well, I'm excited about collaborating with a lot of different women from different backgrounds and experiences. I think, there's not a lot of women in this movement, and I would, that are outspoken or feel comfortable, being true to themselves or out of the closet. But I'm looking forward to collaborating with it, and I know that a lot of women on the East Coast that are very involved in the cannabis movement, but we don't know so many out here.
I think that my experience has been the biggest obstacle for women getting involved is usually family.
Yes.
or just knowing where to get involved. I mean, they're not going to the Cottonmouth Kings concert with, baby and as some of them might be, but as a general rule, there's the
biggest obstacle to the entire movement, I think.
That's true. That's true.
Seeing it in this view is definitely a microcosm of it, but family is I would say, the number one thing holding us back from real political change.
Well,
Exactly.
I think also career-wise, it's a little harder for women to feel comfortable coming across. There's also a lot of single mothers out there who have, are bearing the brunt of that financial responsibility. And
well, I was just going to say, knowing where to get involved, I think is kind of
I think a good group to look at now is actually grandparents.
Yes.
Grandmothers, and because there are a few of those, and more are coming that are more vocal about it. They have a lot left to lose, and I think they carry a lot more clout, or just kind of that matriarch sense.
Yes.
Of,
well, and it's funny. Somebody pointed it out to me, and it was kind of a duh moment once they said it. But the grandmas of today and grandpas as well, they were the 60s hippies. So of course they're on our side. You know what I mean? Of course they're in support.
Well, I think I'm really looking forward just to put a spotlight on some different women activists and some when we deal with our own little world here, we forget that there's other problems and stuff going on in the world that may not affect us directly, but do have an impact on our lives. And I'm looking forward to shedding that spotlight on those and just kind of bringing some of that stuff to light. Because I think we get stuck in the argument. and not necessarily in why the argument is so important to
element.
have. Yeah. And I think that women bring that to back to the converse, or back to the table.
Right.
And we just have, like I was saying earlier, I'm so tired of defending myself. I'm so over it. I want you to defend why my rights should be taken away.
Time to show why this should be illegal if it's going to stay that way.
Yeah,
I've been saying that for a while. Our movement's very reactionary, and we need to be proactive.
Active.
We need to be demanding changes and then making them defend
time to
why
talk
we
about
can't
it.
change.
Right.
Putting them on the defensive.
Exactly.
Well, what is the Normal Women's Alliance have coming up on their radar for 2011? Have you guys made your resolutions, or 2012? What is it? I'm sorry. Oh gosh,
New
see?
year.
Thank you. Move me forward. 2011 sucked.
Well, we've got lots of things coming up. I'm putting together something that will be out later this week, or if I get back in time, or early next week. That's just going to kind of lay out our whole plan. But essentially, we're restructuring our leadership scheme, basically that's set up within the Women's Alliance, where we have regional coordinators and then community leaders, and just kind of developing this outline for people to help mentor and direct other women to develop their neighborhoods and their communities, and have a Women's Alliance presence, and hopefully somewhere where there's already normal chapters to assist those chapters in reaching out to more women. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I've and I both started to talk at the same
we
time.
are also talking with LEAP about doing something. This is really something that I'll mention on the show here first, but I'm also going to be talking about it in this post I'll be putting out later. But it's going to be working together with LEAP on some sort of Cops and Moms project.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be really exciting.
I like it.
Because, like we were talking about earlier, family is one of the biggest hinderers for keeping women, and especially mothers, from coming out and talking about this. And we're thinking, well, what's the best way to make a mother feel safe about this issue? And we were like, well, if we put them in the room with law enforcement who's on their side, or somebody with law enforcement. So that's being developed, and that's definitely something to look forward to in 2012 that we're going to be doing. We're also having a large Normal Women's Alliance Spring Fling event in Washington, D.C. in February, which is going to have a lot of local D.C. politicos, and it's going to actually be over the weekend of a board meeting, so the entire Normal board is going to be there.
Nice.
Greta Gaines is going to be hosting it. It's going to be at an art auction, a Marley photography exhibition, a Bob Marley photography exhibition in downtown D.C., and it's going to be fabulous. We have Celinda Lake has agreed to come speak, and she's a Democratic strategist. We also got David Bose, who is the VP of the Cato Institute, will also be attending, and several other just local political people. So that's going to be really exciting. And then we're also
hold on.
We have a lot of stuff going on in Canada. Those women in Canada are getting very organized all across the country, so we're helping them move along too.
What is the date of that Washington, D.C. event? What date did you say that was, in February?
Yeah, February 10th.
February 10th. Thanks.
Is there a place where people can go to find all this information, all the listing of events?
Yeah, our website, normal.org/women. And then we have at the very bottom, there's a link that says events and meetups. I'm going to have to see if it's actually on that link, because it is so new, and it's not, I sent out a save the date. It's not like technically an event yet, so save the date.
Okay.
You can find it under our blog section. We discuss upcoming events as well. So
awesome.
Normal.org/women. You'll be able to find all of our latest events.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I know that, you've been in this movement for a few years now, about 4, if I'm right? With Normal for 4, about 4? 3.5. Yeah, I knew it was that. What has been, like, your biggest challenge as far as being, because you've been with Normal Women's Alliance since the beginning, am I right?
Yeah, I started it.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to overstep. But what has been your biggest challenge in forming this? Has it been getting the women involved, or has it been getting people to openly talk about it or see the importance of it? What's been your biggest challenge?
Well, I would say I started the Women's Alliance about maybe a year after I started working at NORML, a year and a half. And I was 24 years old. And I didn't really have the greatest grasp of what it was I had in front of me and what it was I was going to have to do to make it happen. So it was definitely a challenge to kind of learn my way through this as I was building it. On a hugely satisfying and rewarding challenge now as I look back, but over the time of its creation, I would say just learning all of the different things that are required to make this kind of project work, how to organize it, how to give people certain bits of work, but not overwork them, just kind of how to handle people. I was pretty young. Hopefully I still am. But that is just a learning process. And, I think Sarah might be able to understand this a little bit, because I think you kind of started the Moms for Marijuana kind of in the same light, where it was just all this enthusiasm, and it was just, you're just trying to catch up with, learning how to handle it and how to, make it as productive and effective as possible while learning how to make that all happen.
Definitely. It was kind of like a big, oops, what did I do? But here we go.
Uncharted waters.
Yeah. It's quite a journey, at least.
I think that's kind of what's good and what's bad about this whole movement. I think for women, we are kind of blazing a new trail, if you will, through this movement, because it's been dominated by men. But I also think you can shape it and form it and make it into your own vision, which is nice. And it's nice is that you have support of other people around. Yeah. It's scary, but I gotta say, I'm always in awe of the people around me, and Sabrina is one of them, and Garrett Overstreet's another one, and you, Sarah Frank, and so certainly you, Jennifer, just these young people who really, kicking butt, taking names. And it's.
Did you just call me young?
I did. Anybody younger than me is young, younger than me. It's young. But picking. Seriously, I'm really, I'm inspired and excited to see what happens with this generation that's coming up, and hopefully my generation doesn't throw the ball backwards.
Do we still have Sabrina with us? Sabrina, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. We're looking forward to this this new pilot that we're trying to kick off here with you guys, and definitely be in touch this next week so we can get you set up for next week's show with you or with somebody else. It'd be wonderful, and I'm hoping this really works out well. Nice collaboration here.
I think so. I think it's gonna, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good collaboration.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Have a safe trip.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy Humboldt County.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have fun there in California.
Oh, I will. I'm learning a lot. Thanks, guys.
Get lots of practice.
Take care.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be right back after this break. Thank you for listening.
I'm all alone with no one to pet me, but old rocking chair ain't never gonna get me, 'cause when I get low, oh, I get high.
nowhere because it's dry down here. They say in New York City you just pick up a phone and then the candy man will drive it right to your home. But it's dry down here. Lord, it's dry down here. You can't get nothing nowhere, Lord, but it's dry down here. Seattle where it rains all day. They got so much tea they can't give it away. But it's dry down here. Lord, I'm telling you it's dry down here. I can't get nothing nowhere, Lordy, but it's dry down here. Well, now in Northern California they grow weed like trees and they smoke it any old time they please, but it's dry down here. Help me, but it's dry down here. I can't get nothing nowhere because it's dry down here. All right. To end the song, but other than that, it was great.
Sounds
Hi, I'm so glad you're back. I know exactly how she feels. I forgot to end the song. You're listening to A Different View with Sarah Frank, Jennifer Alexander, and I'm Iva Cunningham. For some of you who are new, I hope there's a couple new ones and hopefully some returning ones, but listeners, that is, ones. I'm so bad with my nouns and pronouns. Anyway, Sarah, you have been working with Moms for Marijuana, as Sabrina had alluded to earlier, but kind of give us a recap of 2011. I mean, you've had a lot going on with Moms for Marijuana in 2011.
A little bit. We hit a major milestone. We incorporated as a nonprofit.
Yay!
That is a big milestone.
Yes, and now we're pursuing the 501c3 tax exempt.
Wow.
It's a lot of paperwork.
And this is just from Facebook. You started this on Facebook. MySpace. Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. We switched to Facebook.
Yeah,
MySpace kind of, they're trying to make a comeback. So if there's some interest there, we'll go back. But
I think they've collaborated recently. MySpace and Facebook, there's some sort of overlap there
There's
now.
something there that they're connecting on. Everything's connected.
But I think just the simple point that you started this just from one social media site. I mean, there's thousands out there. And you can get overwhelmed by what's going on out there.
Yeah.
How many states are you operating out of now with Moms?
We have 25 chapters.
25 chapters.
One of them is Israel, so there's the 24 state chapters and then Israel. And then we have 29 sub-chapters underneath that. And these are just the ones that have become active and formed an online presence. we've also got several ones that are forming ones and still trying to get their Facebook page up.
So if somebody wants to become a chapter, a local chapter, how do they go about doing that?
They email mom@momsformarijuana.org.
Cool. And then do you respond to that, or does somebody in their local area?
We're working on a communications department, and we'll have a chapter liaison who, or chapter, I'm not sure what her title, she decided on her title, but we'll have a chapter person to talk to them and lead them through the steps to forming the chapter and stuff. We're still, like I said,
Getting
very
that lined
new,
up,
getting going, trying to turn this into something.
I was going to say, well, it feels really new to you, I'm sure. That's not very new anymore if you're in more than half of the states with 29 subchapters.
I know.
Well, they're all new.
Yeah.
They started forming, let's see, the MySpace formed in 2005, and then they started forming, I would say the beginning of 2010 is when they just started popping up. And I'm like, well, hey, let's connect,
right?
Let's make this something big if it's going to be.
Well, I think it's kind of what I think is so great about it, Sarah, is that everybody, Russ and I, and I'm sure you get this too, wherever we go, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And really, you just started communicating, just kind of like soliciting other people with different opinions and or similar opinions.
Happened. I went everywhere saying, "What can I do? What can I do? What can I do?" And everybody said, "Nothing." I don't know. You're in Idaho. So I did what I thought would help, and that was to spread the information, and then it just kind of.
Well, I think it's important to note that just even one small voice can have a huge impact on a lot of people's lives, and there's a lot that you can do that may seem small, but has a huge impact.
I totally thought it was small.
And that's what's
expect
amazing.
this.
I mean, I know that our listeners are actually commenting on it right now. You're sort of soft spoken. You're not a very aggressive, out there sort of person. But anybody can do this.
I
Anybody
would not
can
be
a voice.
in front of a camera ever in my entire life if it was not for this. I would not be doing this. This is not me.
But this is how it happens.
Something like that. Yeah.
I tell people all the time that you usually don't choose to be an activist. Life chooses for you.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's everybody that I've met. They're always like. Nobody was like, oh, yeah, I decided I wanted to do this.
I was explaining to my 9-year-old the other day that, we talk about how mommy's sick. We have to talk about how mommy's sick and how, it's difficult. And I'm not like a normal mommy, and I don't get to go run and play and run with you to ride the bike and all those things. And
well, what's a normal mommy?
I was going to say at this point, it kind of almost is, which is the sad thing about our healthcare here.
Right, and that's how, I've connected with so many people is because there's so many people who are in exactly the same situation that I was in, and they want to help. And it's because of cannabis. And like I was telling my son, I don't have a choice about being sick, so it's something that we have to work around. We have to get through it. We have to push past it. And I do the cannabis activism, and we were saying at the beginning of the show that we just kind of haven't wanted to be called activists because that sounds like taking a step further than we kind of wanted to go because of that trepidation.
For me, it seems like an activist is some, I really admire. I'm like, they have gusto, they have, bravado that I don't have. They speak on things that I have, I'm too nervous to talk about or uncomfortable to talk about.
I always said I was an advocate.
Yeah, I like advocate too.
I'm not an activist.
Oh, the word games.
Right.
I know. And here I am, somebody who's like, it's a dispensary. I don't care if you call it collective co-op.
But I'm not an activist.
It's so funny
I'm not an
because
activist.
I know growing up, activists were the people that like camped in the tree for like a week at a time so that nobody could hit. I mean, they were like extreme.
Right, and that's the image you get, and so you push away from it, and it just kind of swallows you up, and you become an activist because you're sick. You find cannabis, it saves your life, and you want to give something back because it's given so much.
I think the reason why I like advocate is because in a selfish way I can say, oh no, not an activist, just an advocate. I just support it.
And that's exactly
I support it. When I come home in the evenings and on the weekends, I support it a lot.
But as an activist, you have to get past that fear, and you have to
and I'm trying. I'm reaching out to those areas. I certainly. I've become more comfortable about it, but I still have a separate Facebook for family. You know what I mean?
See, I'm not secretive. Like people have always told me that I am.
Not that I'm secretive. I just don't want to have the conversation.
Well, no. That I'm like so blunt and just out there with everything, you know what I mean? And like the idea of having to hide it would drive me nuts. It would just absolutely
I don't look at it
drive
as
me
hiding
nuts.
it. I don't look at it as hiding it because if people ask, I'll certainly say, "You betcha." Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think what for me, it was like I have all these nieces and nephews that I want to stay in contact with and family members.
But I don't want to post pot on
I love you, and I know where you stand. You know where I stand. We've already hashed this argument out. There's no. I mean, I still love you. At the end of the day, you're still family. And so it's not. I need some place that isn't all about politics. It's my fun, a place where I can go and catch up on what's going on in the rest of the world. And I maybe that's my safe haven, but I think for me to call myself an activist, I don't feel like I do nearly enough. I mean, certainly what you do and what you've done, I couldn't say I'm more of that. I've worn that hat. But I definitely am an advocate.
I think a huge part of it is that a lot of my work is done on the internet. I am way outspoken when I'm talking to you in words and I'm typing it to you. But
no, that's what I was going to say. I don't really consider myself even an activist so much. I argue.
No.
I debate.
I've seen both of you walk straight up to police officers and ask those questions, and I've followed in tow. I followed in tow just to watch the scene
because they work for us. It's my tax dollars. I have a right to question them. I don't have to be an activist for that.
No, but you educate them and you ask them and you inquire and I think that a lot of people are just like, I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't want to have that discourse, and I'm still kind of there.
At Hempstock, I walked up to two officers and I said something to them, and in the course of the conversation, I told them, "Oh, of course I've bought from the black market," and then I kept going, and the one officer's mouth just fell open. I'm like,
"Well, you left me no option
for it today."
That's my point. Yes, I used to buy it illegally.
Offer me something else.
Give me another option.
I'm all for that. Trust me, I'm all for that.
We were having a conversation on our Facebook page today about, if weed was legalized but cost $100 and wasn't the grade that you wanted, and would you still buy it legally, or would you continue to buy it from the black market? And most of the people are saying they would still buy it from the black market because I think
I can tell you one good reason for that. If I can get it from my buddy, my good friend that I grew up with, of course I'm going to go to him as opposed to the corporate store.
Right, and especially if he gives it to me for less. And it's a better quality because he spent more time on it.
But there's a different view of buying it from the guy under the bridge, that you don't know. People wouldn't usually do that.
I don't know.
But it's both black market.
Right.
That's what our black market has become, is our friends and our neighbors. And that's what needs to change, is let them open up a legitimate shop where they can make money and do these things.
Well, the thing, I think the regulated supply system just makes sense. I mean, how can you be against that? How can you be against, a brick and mortar place where the employees are paid, utility companies are making money, the taxes and staff, people are employed, it's safe, it's secure, it's been tested.
And they're not going to give it to the children.
Exactly. You can't even go, even if you are a minor in the program, you can't even walk into this place without, with your guardian.
Yeah. It's not even just
it doesn't matter what your condition is. Yeah, no, you have to provide that. And so I don't know the guy on the corner if he's ever done that. In fact, I know I've never had my ID asked for. When
they don't want to.
Never.
I'm like, which corner? What guy? And then I was like, the black market. I got you. I'm like, why would he ask for you? No, that would be really weird if you went to go buy pot on the black market and he's like, can I see your ID?
I'd like,
you would walk away. You're like,
no, I'm not giving you my address.
But you know what? I'm happy to do that to one of these places because I know he's making sure he's done some things that I don't want to be bothered with. He's checked the medicine to make sure it's quality.
Yes.
He's said he's paying employees. I don't have to wait for days for somebody to come back and respond.
Basil and walk away with my money.
So we're going to go to a quick break here. Come back and speak real quickly about our 2012 resolutions. Revolutions, either one, I'll take it. We'll be right back. All right.
Technology is taking over the criminal underworld. All the money now is made by little men on laptops. In my day, the tools of the trade were very different.
Hi, welcome back. You're listening to A Different View. We've got Sarah Frank, Jennifer Alexander, and I'm Iva Cunningham. Well, we kind of got a little off topic. We were talking about, kind of recap of 2011, but we don't have much time left in the show. And one of the things I want to talk about is, going forward, 2012. I swear 2012 has got to be better than 2011. 2011, I think, was just hard, but it was also very inspirational with Occupy movements going all over the world. And Jennifer, you were involved in that too. So were you, actually. You went down there too. Mm-hmm. Russ and I went down there a couple of times as well for different events.
And it's still going.
It's still going.
There's no camp
and
now, but it's still going.
It is going. And at my clinic at Alternative Medical Choices on the last Saturday of the month, we are going to have a Portland Occupy Health Fair, and we're inviting all different kinds of people from the community. So if you're here locally, please tell your people. But
speaking of the Occupy thing, I should throw this out there really quick. Tomorrow, and I don't know all the details, so all I'm going to say is Google Operation Blackout. It's an anonymous ad thing that came out, but it's a protest against the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, the SOPA, which is the Online Piracy Anti-Piracy Act, and one of the other bills that's going through recently. In Portland, we're having a protest at either 6 or 7. So Google that. Okay. Operation Blackout.
Operation Blackout. Well, one of the things I want to talk about is maybe resolutions. Revolutions, something like that too. 2012, and I'm looking forward to 2012. There's... like I was saying earlier, I'm not going to defend myself anymore. I've done that. I've got the argument. I've got the facts. I want you to tell me why it's still illegal. So that's the one thing I'm going to do is anytime, we get into that, but they don't deserve it, or that person isn't that, or, this is just to legalize them. So, what's your problem with that? Yep. You need to tell me why that's a bad thing.
Why is that bad?
Because really, and I think that's what we need to do, and I think that's been my revelation. If you want to,
I totally agree, because that's the same thing that we've been saying for a while now, especially when it comes to like Child Protective Services coming into the home and saying, "Oh, we're going to press injury to a child charges on you." Well, then show me how I have harmed my child.
Well, and even as a medical patient, I don't really care what your purpose is or if you deserve it or don't deserve it. If it's the only option you have to for legal protection, take it. But I don't care. I mean, I really don't care whether it's medical or personal. I use cannabis, so what? That's really my new motto.
Why is that a bad thing?
So what? I use cannabis, and you drink. So, okay. And do you think that every single time I take cough syrup when I have a cold, I don't take it a little bit extra because it feels better to be a little bit over-medicated and then sick? Yeah, it does. And is that fun?
And a lot of the people out there saying that they're getting high. You're not promoting that.
I'm not promoting that, kids.
Well, a lot of people who are out there just saying that they're getting high are likely self-medicating anyway.
But so what? I mean, that's the thing.
The point is that why
bad?
Is it bad?
To be high
Tell me
on
why
marijuana.
It's bad. Right now, the law says that it's a dangerous drug that has no medical value. Well, that's a lie. So tell me why it's bad. Tell me how it's dangerous. Tell me how it has no medical value.
I'm very good with this whole resolution thing, but I have a challenge. I'd like to challenge everybody that listens to our show to tell 10 people, just to talk to 10 people about marijuana. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Just 10 people in your life.
Strike up a conversation with somebody
have this
standing
conversation
in line
that you wouldn't normally have. And let's make sure that this conversation is going, because that's the thing. I keep telling everybody we just need to get it done now.
We have a great way to kind of get that conversation started on our website. You can download just little mini business flyers and that say Moms for Marijuana on them, where we're linked to NORML and to everyone else, and we can.
I'd love to see
hand it to somebody.
I'd love to see somebody put together like some sort of website that just says how to get the conversation started. A million different ways to break the ice. Did you know, as you're filling up your gas car, that if we were allowed to grow hemp in this country, this gas wouldn't cost
Project for you.
Yeah, because I have time.
It's time to blossom into an activist.
But I think my resolution is to keep the conversation conversation going, and have more conversations with people who wouldn't. And maybe by June, I will be brave enough to come out on my family page, even though most of them already know. But
we got to get going. It's been great being back. We will see you guys next Monday at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to A Different View.
Oh, yes.
Website is adifferentview.us. Facebook page is A Different View. And the Twitter is ADV420.
And reruns are at 2 a.m.
Every 6 hours you can hear our show again.
All this hard luck in this town has found me. Nobody knows how trouble goes round and round me.
You're listening to the NORML Network, where the time is